Welcome to Advisors on Growth. I'm your host, Derek Colin. In today's episode, we have a very special guest. Her name is Yvette Grove. She is the Chief Growth Officer at Paragon. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Wonderful. Thank you for joining us. So can you share a bit about your role and how it fits into the bigger picture and what you do, or what does that look like at Paragon?
So I'm kind of in charge of all the people parts. I head up the training initiatives, the recruiting and onboarding, and then work and coach with the realtors individually, kind of using a process that I developed years ago called Anchor Point. And we're not formulaic. We really look at the agents as they are business owners and we're there to support them. And so it's their business. So we look at what they want to do, what their gifts are, what their strengths are, what their talents are, what they're passionate about. And then I create a strategy for them. And the reason I named it Anchor Point is I'd worked with startups and small businesses for years, even coached some executives and helped them figure out who they were, what they wanted, and how to get there. And Anchor Point is an archery term that is kind of your set point to allow you to have the best chance of hitting your target. And your stance would be different than my stance because we're built differently. You know, our strength is different. So that's how I came up with that. My name actually means the archer, oddly enough. So it kind of all came together. I'm known as a catalyst, a connector, and cheerleader. That's usually my title above all things.
So can we do a deep dive on the architecture or the methodology behind your anchor point methodology? Can you explain to the audience how did that come to be and how does it work?
Early in my management career, sales training and things like that, I realized that there wasn't a one size fits all. Not one type of person was successful, that with the right guidance and the right strategy, that any type of personality could be successful. I had a sales team and I had kept getting promoted in the leadership realm because I made great leaders. And one of that, really the reason is you didn't have to be a dominant personality to be successful. In my book, I could take somebody who was maybe shy and said, oh, I could never do what you do. Okay, well, what do you do and how can we make you successful with that? So that was kind of where that started. And then people kept asking me to help them with projects, and I was young and I couldn't figure out, why are you asking me? And then I realized I could see things they couldn't see. And so as I continued to work with small businesses and realtors, I really focused on who they were, what they wanted, what their personality was. With the agents, I'm like, what are you passionate about? Go do that with other people. That's your way of connecting. You don't have to go in hard with a hard sale. You need to serve people. They know me for saying, hey, go love on your people. And they'll come back to me and go, oh, I'm so glad you said that. This thing happened because I did that. And they felt good about it as opposed to predatory about it.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. So I love it. What major shifts are you seeing in your industry right now?
Oh, so many. So many. The last year and a half has been tough. It's been brutal for the agents. They went from this time period of this crazy stretch of many years of this just boom market where the minute you put something on the market, you had multiple offers. And so you were dealing with that. It was a different kind of hard work. And then on the buyer side, you could show 50 houses, they could lose out on 20 of them, you know, and nobody was really happy at the closing table because the buyers kind of settled for whatever they could get. And the sellers were like, well, maybe we could have gotten more. It shifted about a year and a half ago where things could sit for a while now. Now, depending on the market, that it's still a little random. Something could sit for 6 months to a year and then get multiple offers. Or in certain pockets of the Dallas area, it's still pretty hot. Like you put something on, it's going to go quick if it's priced right and, you know, in the right neighborhood. So some of them had to relearn how to do what we call real estate. And then some of the newer ones, I had one agent, she had never had to market a property before. So even though we were teaching how to mark properties, it just didn't ever stick to her brain because it wasn't something she needed. So going back to basics, going back to a really high level of service, which I think is great for the industry. And for our firm, it fits who we are because our agents are not transaction based. They're relationship based, and they love to give a high level of service. So I think it's allowed us to really step up and stand out. Now that everybody's kind of exercised those muscles, it's communication, a lot of communication, a lot of patience on both the agent and the seller side. You know, in
Yeah.
certain markets that we're in, it could take a year to sell a property. I just had somebody who, after a year and a half, got a property under contract, and she called me just to tell me how excited she was. So our marketing has had to be stronger. Our communication has had to be stronger. But I think those are all the things that we do well anyway. And as a firm, we really equip our agents. Obviously, there's a lot of change with the mergers and acquisitions, and a lot of people don't want to be a part of a big monopoly. So we really stand out because we have a strong operations background with our team, and we're full service to our agents. We have a full staff that is available to the agents and there to help them, whether it's with marketing or their files. We're strong on compliance. So I think we're positioned well, but yes, there are a lot of changes.
Yeah, a lot of changes. How have these changes, you mentioned, communication, patience. You also mentioned beyond transactional, relationship based, impacted your business or growth strategy?
I think we weren't telling our story well. We were word of mouth. Agents would come to us really through our other agents or through me being out in the community. We've just kind of revamped our marketing strategy to tell our story better because we are strong operators. If an agent's looking to grow a team, we come along beside them and help them grow that team because they don't typically know who to hire. They'll hire somebody just like them, which usually is not what you need. You need somebody that can do the opposite of you. They don't have the time or sometimes the patience to train that person. And what I tell every assistant that comes on to a team is you have to, once you get onboarded and you get comfortable with everything, you need to be 3 steps ahead, because if an agent has to ask you a couple of times, they'll just do it themselves and wonder why they're paying you. So it's teaching that assistant or team member how to anticipate what's next, coming alongside and helping them train their team members, helping them with their marketing strategy. We've had a lot of fun lately with some really fun campaigns that are really individual to the agent or the team. That's been a blast this year because we have time to do those things now. So that storytelling, that story of how we really help top producers go to the next level. We were known for a long time for helping brand new agents, which we're good at, but we're even better at helping an agent have an exit strategy. You don't hear that from
Cool.
most firms. Is an agent's an agent till they die or, win the lottery. We want them to be an agent as long as they want to be an agent. And then they've built a book of business just like an insurance agent. So we help them transition from full-time agent to maybe part-time agent, but they have that book of business still bringing income to them. And then when they want to retire, they retire with dignity. And again, being able to leverage their team for income beyond retirement.
Yeah. And could you say that again? I think you cut out. You said being able to
leverage the team that they've built to be able to allow them to have income into retirement because they've built
awesome.
that book of business.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So not most firms don't talk about that. We really, again, we look at them as business owners. We want them to have freedom and we want them to have a business that creates a great life for them, not just a business.
Yeah. Awesome. So for entrepreneurs out there, real estate agents that are looking to, take it the next step in their careers, what would you say to them if they were looking to, get onboarded with you guys? What's the vetting process? And is there any advice you can provide for them?
Absolutely. And really it's whether, as you said, either an entrepreneur or an agent that joins us, look at what has worked in the past, double, triple, quadruple down on that. Like go all in on that. Face-to-face time. There's nothing that beats that. And right now, the national crisis is loneliness. So I always tell my agents, you get to be the antidote to loneliness And in that, you also get to build a business. So I would say connect with people, serve people, and then if there's a strategy that's worked in the past, double down. I think we're
Yeah.
always looking for the next shiny, and sometimes the basics, going back to basics, is always the best strategy. But also, the thing that I would say is figure out what you love to do and go do it with other people.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you guys work with other firms when handling transactions of large amounts of for homes that big, like $1 million homes, loan officers, escrow, or is that all in house?
Absolutely. No, we have, each agent will have their own team. We recommend certain people. We bring in vendors all the time. That's another thing that I tell every agent is you need to be meeting with your vendors on a regular basis. You need to know what they're offering. You need to know that that's a person that is an extension of you and you're comfortable with that. And you know they're going to serve your clients. So sometimes it's matchmaking. Some agents will have a few lenders that they recommend and insurance companies, or they may have just, nope, this is my team, this is who I recommend, and you're welcome to use whoever you want, but this is who I kind of have on my team. That's a big part of it. I talked to a young lady today that had a tough time trying to get down payment for a property she wanted. And I said, well, has your lender talked to you about the grants that are available for first time home buyers, and also the
Mm.
community was looking to purchase and also had a development grant for that neighborhood. And a lot of even lenders don't know that. So it's our job as agents to kind of know who best serves the needs of that client. And there's some great ones out there. And there's some great opportunities out there right now for first-time homebuyers, especially, or anybody looking to buy a new build, because there's some extra incentives out there.
Yeah. And when it comes to the seller, if I wanted to, sell my home and, go through Paragon, either through you or one of your agents, do your agents come with a specific background and criteria that you vet them for before you onboard them? And why should I choose your company?
We have a really unique culture, and it's a service first. In fact, you can't get hired on our staff unless you have a servant's heart. It is, you put other people above yourself, and you get your oxygen first, but then when it comes to your fiduciary responsibility, and also just your human being responsibility, is you do what's in the best interest of your clients. So if we feel like somebody doesn't have that, or is not collaborative, they're usually not a fit for us. We're a very collaborative team. Our agents, when a new agent comes on, does not see them as competition. They see them as a part of the family, and they will take them under their wing. They will celebrate them. They'll support them. They'll brainstorm with them. Hey, what do you think I should do about this? Or what do you think the right price is for this? Or, hey, this is not moving. Can you give me some ideas? Or will you shoot a video for me or do an open house for me? So we really work together as a team. I joke that when a new agent comes in, I said, the other agents will not be upset if you get their neighbor's business, but they will be upset if you do sloppy paperwork. So
Yeah.
I think our name is Paragon because we hold to a standard of excellence in our
Yeah.
service. And so when we list your home, we don't put a sign in the yard. We market it. We report back to you on a regular basis of, here's what the market's doing this week, and here's how I marketed your property this week. We are well connected in the community, so we're always promoting our listings through our networks. And the level in integrity. There's a high level of integrity.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I love that. Yeah. I'd definitely go through you to sell my home. Through Paragon. So as a chief, growth officer, when do they typically pull you in when a situation arises or an issue or management level expertise that you have to bring to the table?
Oh, there's been some fun ones this year. Well, I meet with them regularly on the coaching side to make sure that they're where they want to be, and we're trying, kind of making sure that they're doing what they committed to, and if not, let's try something different. But when it comes to big walls, of things coming down. We've had a lot of issues this past year, not just us, but the title companies are telling us it's a big issue with estates not being prorated right, or somebody holding claim to a property nobody knew about. What we do is we first of all help them in the moment and go, okay, we have great partners in the title side. And again, our agents, we had one situation it took a year to close because of the probate issue. But the young lady really wanted this property, and the buyer, because of the agent's willingness to work together, the buyer and seller were willing to work together, and they made it work. And you talk about patience, but it was not an easy task. And our agent was on the phone weekly, getting updates and things like that. So then what we did is we found out, okay, we had a couple of issues with estates this year. Our title company's telling us there's a problem with estates. So then we add that to our education right away. So we did a class in both of our big offices on estates and probate, and kind of re-educated them on, you're going to have to dig deeper. You're going to have to do a little more diligence. If it gets more legal or super compliant, then my counterpart, who's our chief operating officer and compliance officer, is Bart Stockton. He writes curriculum for Texas Realtors. He teaches across the state. He's brilliant and has more in his brain about real estate than anybody I've ever known, but he'll kind of do the heavy hitting on some of the things that get a little stickier. And then does anybody need to bring attorneys on? Because Texas, I will tell you, Texas real estate is done well. Texas Realtors promulgated forms are well thought out. Very few changes need to be made because they really think of everything, and it really protects the clients. We're really lucky that, one, we have Texas Realtors, two, that we have Bart Stockton.
Oh, cool. Very cool. Awesome. So do you guys have a big office? Are you nationwide? Do you have administrative, HR, all that good stuff?
We do. So we are in North Texas and Southern Oklahoma. We joke that it's really become our campaign last year, is we're from Y'all Street to the Silicon Prairie, which what that means is, so Dallas now is called Y'all Street. We have the Texas Stock Exchange housed here in Dallas, Texas. We go down to Cedar Creek Lake. We have a little team office there. We have several teams out in the Rockwell Heath area, which is a really hot area. Our main office is in Uptown Dallas, and then we have another large one in Sherman, Texas, which is the Silicon Prairie. That's where a lot of the chips manufacturing with Texas Instruments and a few other companies have really launched up there. That Sherman, Denison, Texoma area is what they call, is really hot and growing. Both TI and Global Wafers have huge factories up there now. And that's really, now all the ancillary businesses are coming in. And it's a really beautiful area in North Texas. And we have a team office in Van Alstyne and a team office in Bonham, Texas. And then we have a handful of agents that serve Southern Oklahoma, because it's Sherman, Denison, Oklahoma. So right over the Red River. And
awesome.
then, so that's exciting too.
Oh, that's cool. So it's more than just realtors. It's a team of people that kind of work cohesively.
It's a team of people that work in, it doesn't matter what office you're in, they all love being together. They love to work together. And so the support isn't just this office supports each other. The Dallas office supports the Sherman office, the Cedar Creek office. We have a full staff. We are fully staffed. So if somebody needs to pop into the office and the agent isn't there, there's somebody there to receive them. We have a marketing department. I'm coaching and people and training, and Bart does all the operations and the compliance. There's not a file that doesn't go through Bart for final approval, to make sure that all the paperwork's done right and in place to protect not only the brokerage, but really to protect the clients and make sure things are done right. And the agents love that, because somebody has their back. We have ongoing training. We have all kinds of resources and technology for the agents to support their business. It's not a dial up your broker. We're there, we're hands-on, and they call, especially new agents, but even agents that are maybe have a tricky situation. If you need help after 8:30 p.m., tell me and I'll stay up because I go to bed
Yeah.
early. But I never want an agent, especially a new agent, to write their first contract by themselves. Even though
Yeah.
I've had them practice the contracts, there's nothing like those first couple of contracts where you're like, wait a minute, who's letting me do this? So I get on the phone with them if it's after hours, and I get online with them and I walk them through it, and we support them in every
That's good.
way we can.
Yeah, that's real good. So you guys, it sounds like you're expanding. You guys are hiring and bringing in new agents as well as staff and
Yeah.
administrative.
Yeah. So
That's really good.
we are
Yeah.
growing. This last year, we brought on a couple of teams from, like I said, the Rockwall area. One came back. She had left our firm and came back, and it has just been so fun watching them grow and expand. That's our favorite thing, is to really see the success. Sometimes we get the calls and like the help keep me from jumping off the bridge calls, because things went
Yeah.
sideways, and we help see them through that too, because it's
Yeah.
real. There are some tough times, but we also are there to celebrate with them.
Good. Good. So what's been working well right now, and what's been frustrating?
Oh, frustrating is just the slow market. Now where you would have 20 showings within hours of having a live property, it could take 2-3 weeks for a showing for a new listing.
Yeah.
So that's frustrating. So what we try to do is do broker opens and at least get our team there if we're not getting other agents there as well, making sure that the house shows well, either staging it or virtually staging it, making sure that we've put our best foot forward. Weekly or bi-weekly reports where I've had the agents, instead of sending a quick CMA for updates, which is something that comes from our MLS, I have them convert that into a spreadsheet, and AI makes that super easy now. Convert that into a spreadsheet because that's the way consumers read information, right? So
Yeah.
that has really helped in the client looking at the stats going, oh, maybe I am overpriced, without us having to constantly say, maybe we need to lower the price. They kind of can see the data in a way that's more consumable to them and go, oh, you're right. Every house that has sold was 40,000 under ours and had better upgrades, or not. And sometimes it's just a waiting game, because what took 2 months to sell before could take 8 months now, depending on the market.
Yeah. Wow. So it's a process for sure.
It
But
is.
as long as you're attentive and you have the right heart to do it, then you can definitely do it.
Yeah.
And the patience and beyond transactional as well, right? So
Yeah.
that's
And
always
it's
a
really
good thing.
keeping your thumb on the pulse, because it could change week to week. And this year we've seen that, where 1 week it will be crazy busy, and then 2 weeks later, crickets. And our spring market was not we were really busy in December and January. Spring was quieter, because of the war and things like that. Once people kind of settled into, this is where we are. It's funny because people always want to say, oh, it's the interest rates. Well, we were selling more houses when they were 8% than we are now at 6%. So it's getting the consumer comfortable with, it's really a great time for buyers. They really have a lot of options, and which they haven't had for a long time. Veterans, oh my goodness, for years, veterans could not compete in this market. They now can really compete and get some great opportunities. And that's exciting,
Yeah, definitely. Where do you see Paragon, or where do you want Paragon to be 6 or 12 months from now as the chief growth officer? I know you got lots of teams, different offices,
Yeah.
administrative, full staff, bringing on new agents. It's a lot, right? But
Yeah. I'd love to see us bring on a couple of more teams, or people that want to grow some teams. I love that. And it is so much fun to come alongside them and help them build that. That's a focus of ours this year. I would say in the next 6 months, I think we've ridden the hardest part of the transition of this market. I'm not going to say you never know if it's the hardest part of the market, but the transition of this market, I feel like we have come out on top operationally. And so I really would love to see our agents get even more involved in the community and grow their business through service, and then bring on, like I said, some teams and some people that really want to go to the next level in their business. I love a challenge. We purchased the Sherman office 6 years ago, I think, and it was a 2-week acquisition. It was wild and crazy. They were going to lock the doors. The company that they were with was being closed, and it came out of nowhere. That office loved working together so much. They were committed to staying together. So it was a really fun, easy transition. It was one of the reasons during that transition, our chief admin, Cindy Wilson, she would call me, and she was an agent at the time. She was not in a staff position at all. And she'd say, I don't know if you know this, and she would kind of tell me things that there was no way we would have known. And so I had talked to our broker and said, hey, I think she should be our new admin. And she has been, and she's been fantastic. And we all tell her she can never leave or retire. But we feel that about all of our staff. We really have a great collaborative staff that loves working together, and we've had so much fun. The other thing I would say is Christopher, our marketing director, and I have had so much fun this year helping them create some unique campaigns. We have a young new agent that he's a skateboarder, and he's done some fun things with social media with his skateboard. And we have another one, his family, they're big Disney people. So he's kind of played with that. We're doing a whole campaign around an agent who's known for his socks, and helping them stand out. We've had some magnificent broker opens. DeRosander is out in Rockwall and has a $4 million house estate on the lake that's just magnificent. And we had the most just elegant, lovely broker open there just last month. Those are the things that we're really having fun, kind of going to the next level. Again, we didn't have time to do these things before. It was just wild and crazy. So now we get to really get creative. And so I want to see us take those things to the next level and bring in agents that need support in those things or just want people to have their back. So that's where we're looking to grow this next year. It'd be great to find another firm that needs operators. That was a really unique acquisition. And again, they fit our culture. They were people with a servant's heart. They knew their business well. I mean, our agents, education is really important to them. You won't find our agents winging it. They really want to know not only about real estate, but what's happening in their community. I mean, you walk in the Sherman office and go, hey, what's happening up the road 3 miles? Somebody in that office is going to know, and they're going to know whose grandmother owned that property 3 decades ago. So.
Awesome. Well, it sounds like you guys are doing really well, and I think your vision and your focus and scope of Paragon and what you guys are doing over there is amazing. And Yvette Grove, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to check out her profile on LinkedIn, you can look her up. Her name is right here listed in this video, Yvette Grove. She is the Chief Growth Officer at Paragon. And if you want to check out their website, that's paragonrealtors.com, paragonrealtors.com. Yvette, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for joining us on Advisors on Growth.
Thank you for having me.